Blog Talk Radio.
In the name of Ahmen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, one and only true Lord, and Ahmen we trust, as the Republic of Mentellect, the real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the mentalists, the Ahmen race, the bright race. Good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual Newton Menkares, and this is Mentellect Radio. And tonight we're going to be speaking about the liberated woman, the liberated black woman. Is Ahmen punishing the liberated black female? Yeah. Big time. Big time. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to go into this in depth. Because the liberated black female seems to be taking an L all over the planet. She seems to be taking an L everywhere. Especially with this Black Lives Matter thing. Give me a second. So, maybe I haven't noticed in the news, but right now, the liberated black females that were the face of Black Lives Matter, the liberated black females that were the face of Black Lives Matter, are now being the fall guys who are being charged with felonious things as far as the organization goes. Now, you know, Black Lives Matter is really run by Caucasians who are Caucasians who funded Black Lives Matter, who are basically using bronze women, so-called black women, black females. I'm not even going to call them bronze women. They were using black females as a front, right? They were using Black Lives Matter was just an organization that was started by a black female from I forget who it is. It was a couple of lesbians, black female lesbians, right, who started Black Lives Matter, and these were funded Caucasian groups, these were groups funded and picked up their basically took control of the organization, Black Lives Matter. So Black Lives Matter is funded by Caucasian, these groups. And that means they get the lion's share of the money. They get the grab bag. When people are going out here donating to Black Lives Matter, those black females who are in the forefront, they get a cut of the proceeds, but the majority of it goes to those Caucasians who are in the background. When people send in millions of dollars and things like that, and, they putting these so-called black women out front, that is just meant to be a front, because you see right now who's taking the hit, and you can see what the agenda is. It started off as supposedly cared about the lives of black people, especially black men getting murdered by the police, getting slain through racial turmoil and things like that. And, now it's being exposed for what it really is. It's being exposed for these controlled, white controlled, these royalty, right? And a lot of money was collected by the Black Lives Matter people. Is Ahmen punishing the liberated black female? Of course. Of course. Don't you think she deserved it? Don't you think she deserved it after going against her family, going against her community, laying with the beast, spending money, covering up her natural hair that Ahmen gave her, wanting to be in an image of Don't you think it's about time this bitch deserved judgment, this black witch? Don't you think it's about time the black witch deserved judgment at the hands of the Most High? I do. And obviously they do. And that's why you're seeing it happen. Why is Ahmen punishing them? Because they out of order, man. The woman is out of order. Tell me she ain't out of order. See, when you out of order, meaning you're out of the alignment with Ahmen set forward for the men and the women, when you're out of order, punishment comes, man. And it's going to be swift. When you out of order, see, because our women are supposed to be in order. Our women are supposed to be in order. They never supposed to be out of order, man. They never supposed to be sitting up here disobeying their men, flipping on their men, acting out of order. They ain't supposed to be doing that, because that's when they start riding that spiritual lunar current of the beast, that rebellious current. And then they got to get checked and put back in line, or get checked out. You see? Because that's what happens when you break your foundation. You break your foundation. And when you black females are being liberated, you're breaking the foundation of what you're supposed to stand on, which is submission to Ahmen. Who made them liberated? The beast made them liberated. The so-called white man. He makes them liberated. And Ahmen is punishing them for that. Because you're not supposed to follow a liberated program. You're supposed to follow the program of Ahmen, which is order. You're supposed to follow order, not liberation. And the order is supposed to be behind Ahmen. Your Ahmen. As women, your order is supposed to be behind them. What does liberated mean? Liberated means to get permission. Liberation is permission. Liberty is permission. They get permission from the beast to act like demons, man. Has liberation destroyed the so-called black woman? Of course it is. It has destroyed the so-called black female, of course. Because you liberated. That's your liberation. Your liberation from the white man has gotten you, from the white woman through the white man through the white woman has gotten you that. Nobody wants to put up with that. Not even the black male wants to put up with that. And they're showing you, as they can tell you. For the complete broadcast, you're gonna have to go to Mentellect Patreon. Go to Mentellect Patreon for this complete broadcast, because it will not, I guarantee you, it will not be on YouTube. Subscribe, go join Mentellect Patreon.
Rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, Ahmen, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do. We the Republic.